So if there are professional dancers out there,
Yeah.
so I'm going to give you 3 things, and then I
Yeah.
want you to kind of wrap it up and tell
Yeah.
people where they can go if they want to kind of message you and kind of talk about it if they are dancers or aspiring dancers. All right. So
Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
3 things that
3 things.
that you've seen with working with dancers that they overlook. So the most common things that they overlook. So just give me those, and then pitch where they can message you, and then we're going to cut it.
Okay,
And then it's going to be like, bam.
It's going to be like, bam, done. Get in contact. 3 things that they overlook, definitely recovery or rest, whatever you want to look, however you want to look at that. So like sleeping, making sure that you're well rested in time for your trainings or for your shows or whatever you're doing competition wise. In terms of like all they do is train, and the whole concept is like sleep is for the weak, which I used to live and breathe.
Yeah, me too. And also like, I know dancers love to dance and party, and that happens in clubs. So sometimes that is, that is not recovery.
That is the
opposite. That is the opposite of recovery.
The opposite of recovery, which is also very much the scene. Because
100%.
Oh, there is something I do. Sorry. Okay, it's going to go for a little bit longer. I'm so sorry. Because the scene of the dancers too is that the management or artists or whoever is looking after us too, if you're in the professional realm, provide like VIP spots and clubs for us to go to just to like be wined and dined and enjoy a night out because they can. And so obviously that's a really awesome thing that people are providing for us, so why not go and have some fun after a show and you've just worked really hard for a whole week? So it's all real for that to be the case. It'd probably be, if you are doing that, then what are you doing the next day to make sure you're recovering in time for a rehearsal, or like just being smart about like how you can balance that out if you need to. But yeah, rest, sleep, recovery, that whole side of things is really overlooked by dancers. What else is overlooked? Strength work is overlooked because I think there is a general, I suppose, I don't even know what you'd say.
Misconception?
Misconception. That dancers would assume that if you do strength work, you get really tight and then you're less mobile for the actual movement that you're needing to do, which can be true if you're not doing all the other work on the other end, or if you're not training appropriately. So they tend to avoid strength work because they think that they don't need it. They don't understand that it's like super helpful for your body in terms of, the overall mass of force and looking after your joints and all that sort of stuff. So strength work is overlooked. Well, any resistance work, should clarify. And endurance training is overlooked too. Because, I suppose that depends. But if you are training full-time as a dancer and a coach is like, you need to get fitter and strong, you need to get fitter to sustain what you're doing in this 1 minute period. The way that they would approach that is like, okay, well now let's just train dance for like 20 million hours and we'll just do the same thing over and over again, which fair enough, that would work to a certain degree, but there's a point where it's not going to. And if you're not adding any other stimuli, then it's not really going to help.
Like you need to push beyond so that level of fitness that you need,
the threshold is pushed,
is already there. Instead of that being the top of your threshold, you want that to be maybe 80, 60, 50% of your threshold.
Yes, and it doesn't just look like you going out for a run, which is what the general public would probably know. But
and that's a lot of impact on dancers' knees too. So you'd want to look at. Actually, let me tell you how to... No, I'm joking.
Do you know what? Please, I would. The more the merrier. The more information we can soak, the merrier.
Yeah, there is a lot of impact on the knees for dancing. That's one thing I know for sure. Not that I'm a dancer, but I do know a few. And running is just more impact on the knees and lower back. So, cardio could be good. It's not as specific to do something like rowing or swimming or using the elliptical, but at least it does get you that cardio workout.
Yes, but it's still, exactly that. That's also why when we talked about shoes, these are important because a lot of the time dancers train on concrete, like in rehearsal rooms or stages, we have concrete. So having a bit of a thicker foam, it helps reduce impact on those joints. It's really important. But being able to like figure out what type of endurance work they need. So even, like what threshold they're sitting at. So I feel like there's so many things that are overlooked, but they're probably
the 3 main ones.
When I first thought of doing a podcast in 2019, I wrote down everything that I wanted to achieve with the show. And one thing I never wrote down was to spam you with ads of products that I never really used myself. However, I did write down that I wanted to grow it as big as possible and have as many interesting people on the show as I could. To help make that happen, all I ask is that you leave a review on the podcast platform that you're listening to this episode on and share it with someone that you know it will benefit. If you want to support myself even further, and more importantly, your body transformation, and are interested in having me as your coach to help you achieve the results that you just can't seem to achieve on your own, you can visit teamrockashby.com to see what program fits you best.